Previously on Tale of the Free Folk. Answers at last? The Fellowship has arrived at a refugee encampment in the cave system, where the Hillman clan of Fail's people have sought shelter. While the village elder decides upon the next steps of her people, the Fellowship have taken supper with the old Master Gerald.
That's not what I wrote.
Who has spent several months living
super
with
supper.
the clan, and
Sounds
may
like
be
a
able to
Hobbit meal.
shed light on the history of the Hillman. So that happened.
I loved it. It was
I
awesome.
agree.
Fantastic.
You know his name is Fuel, right?
Yeah, I said fuel.
No, that's not what you said.
I totally said fuel. It's
All
fine,
right.
Terry. It's not like there's anyone watching.
Alright, so let me see if there's anything that happened away from the camp. Yeah, okay. So last time when we left off, you were all finishing up supper with Fjol and Master Gerald in this pavilion tent that had been set up for you in the Falechta Wavan, the caves where the people of Fjol have taken refuge since they
Bless
were given
you.
away from their homes. Anyone remember what Fjol said Falechta Wavan means?
Oh gosh, no.
We're not being tested on this, are we?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Hang on. What was the question?
Falechta Wavan.
What do the caves mean? What do they represent? What do they mean? It's like something about like home to refugees or something.
Nobody told us?
Fjol translated for you. And we all know how well Fjol's translations are.
They're perfect.
Yeah, really.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens later then. So, Master Gerald had, he'd finished up, he's sort of focused back on the task at hand. And I believe he finished by saying that he wanted to explain some of the history of the Hillman since the fall of the North Kingdom. Was there anything you wished to ask before he just launches into his spiel?
So he's getting ready to tell us a ton of information?
Yeah.
We'll just listen, I think, for now.
Yeah.
All right. So, are any of you... How much do you know about the history of the North Kingdom, of Arnor, as they call it in the texts?
A little bit less than this much.
I've heard of Arnor.
I see. We have a lot of ground to cover then. Certainly you've seen a lot of the ruins about this area. Underneath...
Yeah, they're a little hard not to notice.
Yes, well, once upon a time there was a mighty kingdom of men of Westerness, and they founded a kingdom which, at least in Trestlebridge, we know it more as the North Kingdom, but I believe their name for it was Arnor. There is an old fortress up among the haunted fields where the Ghost King holds court that used to be where the actual king of this North Kingdom would hold court. But anyway, they were, it was a fair kingdom, the kings were good for the most part, and they had influence all the way from this realm, all the way south to Tharbad and Enedwaith, all the way west to the sea, all the way east to at least the Misty Mountains, possibly beyond, I don't know, there are a lot of ruins. It's hard to keep track of whose was whose. But in that time, there was also a substantial population of these folk. They're called hillmen. That's not their name for themselves, though, of course. They call themselves the Red People. I'm not entirely sure why, but that's what their name means in their own language. There were 7 clans of them, and this is one of them, or all that's left of one of them, I should say. And back in the day, they prospered underneath the North Kingdom, but his eye wanders back to the chicken, and then he snaps back up to looking at the rest of you. But one day they betrayed the North Kingdom, and there was a great war. There was an enemy north of the mountains who came south. They recruited the help of the hillmen, and in time, the North Kingdom had fallen. That's where that's where history and legends start to become one. No one's exactly certain what happened immediately following the fall of the North Kingdom. Some say that the enemies from the north returned where they came from. Some say that folk from the coast came and drove away the enemies from the north. But what the gist of it is, what history supports, is that pretty much nobody had power in this area. This clan, they call themselves the Arana, if you'd like to write that down for future reference. They joined with other refugees from the war and founded the town of Trestlebridge. But over time, fell creatures and the undead from the fields started to chip away at the town, and a lot of the Arana folk who lived there departed east, and they lived in Nan Wathrin, the valleys there, the ruins of an old fortress. These were mostly farming people. They wanted nothing to do with the others of their clan. There's a little bit of bad blood, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Fjol speaks up and says, if there is bad blood between ourselves and the other clans, I do not know any of it. I have not heard of us interacting with any of the other clans for generations. Master Gerald sort of nods and says, and if I also understand correctly, your 7 clans were scattered, which is why you haven't had contact with them. Do you know anything more about this, Fjol? Perhaps you are in a better position to speak on this than I am. And Fjol says, no. You have a broader understanding of what has happened with the different clans. You have texts and knowledge from outside our own traditions. All I know is what I needed to know, and as we haven't had contact with other clans, I really do not know anything of any of them. I don't know where they might be, or what they might have been doing in all of this time. And Master Gerald, I really hope this isn't how the entire episode goes, just me having conversations with Master Gerald then says, I do not know where any of the other clans are either. I ran into you when I was leaving Trestlebridge months ago, and you are the only ones that I've ever met. You have a lot of records that it seems not many of you have read in full. I've been trying to work my way through them. I believe there might be other clans to the north, but I don't know if they would still be there. That is where they came from originally, at least. I think I'm getting off topic. What were we talking about again?
7 clans. They
7 clans descended from the Aranak.
Ah, yes, 7 clans. There was a ritual founded long ago, before the war with the North Kingdom, where they were granted pieces of armor by the Northmen as sort of a token of friendship, but they cherished them as almost artifacts because the craftwork, while certainly inferior by our modern methods, was completely new to them and completely fancy. So they took one piece of armor for each clan, and they inscribed their own symbols upon them, and they kept them as tokens. And after the clans were scattered, there was a ritual. I'm not certain how it was founded, but when all of the armor pieces are sent to the original clans again, that would be a call for them to meet, and it would be a sign that it was okay for the clans to meet again. The danger was over, and they could start their nation once again. And that is what I believe Fjol had gone looking for in the ruins that you have assisted him with. At least that is what the Shannon told me. Is this true?
Seems consistent with what we've learned so far.
Do you have the armor with you? Might I see it?
We left it with the Shanna.
Ah, I see. That was probably appropriate to do. In any case, that would be the story. I don't know many more details. I can continue my research, and he gestures behind him, and there's just a mass of just scraps of paper where everything's just sort of scribbled. You can infer that it's probably Gerald's own handwriting. He's taken notes on something. There's like a few tablets sort of stacked in a corner. Stone tablets, not like iPads. And and then there's maybe like one or two tomes that are just sort of lying around, like spine facing upward. Pages are dog-eared. This is Gerald's tent, after all.
Yep.
So he's said what he has to say, and he's sort of gone back to picking at his food.
There you go.
What do
Sort
we
of
do
look
with this
over-
information?
Up to you.
Well, this hasn't really this isn't really anything new. This is kind of a rehash of what we already knew.
Is there something more specific you'd like to know? And he picks up his tome and starts flipping through pages.
Well, has he got a spare piece of paper anywhere?
He like flips to the end of the tome and just tears out the last sheet.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. That'll work.
You need a piece of paper?
Yeah, so I will
Some charcoal.
yeah, some charcoal to write. I will sketch the two symbols that we've already seen, the one that was on the helmet and the one that was on the greave.
Okay.
Okay, so we know that the one that was on the greave is for this clan that we're with. The one that was on the helmet is for another clan, but apparently it never made it there. It was intercepted, and that messenger was found somewhere by Breland, so maybe that clan is south, but we don't actually know for sure.
Very
Well,
interesting.
it's right there, probably over towards the Lone Lands.
I think I recognize that symbol. Let me check. And he flips through his tome, and he says, "Aha!" And he like plops the book down on, like, probably like on top of some of the food on the table, like show the rest of the. And you can see, like, on one page, it's that large symbol. It's great. I don't even remember off the top of my head. It's seven pointed stars in a circle around a broken crown.
Yep.
Yeah. That was the home.
It looks like that was the symbol of the Krila clan. If you would like to write that down as well. If I understand, they were, and he sort of like pulls the book back towards him and is looking. They were the leaders of the seven clans back in the day. And in fact, it was their chieftain who orchestrated the plan to betray the Northmen when the time came. Strange that they would be being sent the piece of armor. I would have assumed that they would be in charge of sending out the armor. And also that, according to this, they came from the land that became the witch realm of Angmar originally. They didn't come from the south.
Hmm.
Then again, that was a long time ago, and they very well might have moved.
Could they have fled? Maybe it could be that if the Angmar had fallen, that they would have fled from the region.
Fjol cuts in and says, yes, that was similar to what my people had done. We used to live in the shadow of the mountains, but over time we progressed southward, as he said, for the founding of Trestlebridge.
But it still doesn't explain why this piece of armor was on some sort of messenger, or we're assuming it was on a messenger since the person was by themselves and not, like, kept with the clan.
Right.
Because if they were in charge of the armor, then they should have had it all together.
This is curious.
Stolen, perhaps? Would this particular piece of armor have represented some kind of authority?
Yes, and it was a helmet, it says, because they were regarded as the head of the clans. So, if perhaps this was stolen, it would have been stolen by someone who would know this piece of cultural information.
Rival clan, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Or a bigger, more sinister force moving throughout the background. Indeed.
If there's a bigger sinister force, will they be in charge of all these orcs and goblins we've been seeing?
If history has taught us one thing, it is that orcs are usually part of a larger, more sinister plot.
That's
Yeah.
true.
They don't usually organize themselves. They usually get organized by somebody else.
And usually by someone who's not very nice.
The Ghost King.
The ghost.
Right.
Okay.
Do you know of any other terrifying, not nice people in the area?
Well, no, because I don't exactly have a short list of not nice people.
There was that jerk in the bar back in Trestlebridge.
I have a feeling they're talking somewhat on the scale. I know that in the back when I was young, I heard stories about some necromancer in Mirkwood that had been vanquished. They'd probably been serving someone like him or something like that.
Ah, the Necromancer. Now that's a tale I haven't heard in a long time. I suppose if the Necromancer was defeated, if he was very good at his job, he could have resurrected himself. Maybe the Ghost King is the Necromancer.
Ooh, I never thought about that.
I don't know if it works like that.
After that, I kind of look at him kind of strange, and I want to test his knowledge on Middle-earth, and so I'm going to ask him what happened in the year 1974 of the Third Age.
Ooh.
He would know this, so one moment while I look it up.
It's related to what we were just talking about.
Yeah. In which, that was the year in which the North Kingdom fell.
That's correct.
Were you testing me, boy?
Yes.
This guy knows what he's talking about. I served with the Rangers. I just wanted to make sure that you were knowing what you're doing.
Hey, if this was the North Kingdom, is there also an East and a West and a South Kingdom?
There was a South Kingdom, but I don't think we've heard from them since before the fall of the North Kingdom. I certainly haven't studied anything about them myself.
Isn't that Gondor?
What a strange name.
Arnor, Gondor.
Okay, this guy.
Kind of rings a bell.
Hit the floor. Roll over. More.
As for the West, the ocean is to the west.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, I guess the ocean's to the west.
And everyone
Well,
knows there's
we-
nothing beyond the ocean. You just sail until you reach the edge of the world, and then you fall off.
That's not exactly true.
Are you questioning me?
No, I'm not questioning you. I'm just disagreeing with you.
What evidence do you have that there is more beyond? Have you been to a land beyond?
Don't be crazy. Her elf eyes have seen over to the land beyond.
Is I have
You're an
not
elf?
been, but I have friends that have been. Yes,
not know
and
there
I
was-
and I come from the edge of the sea, so I've known many people who have been across the sea,
Interesting. I thought
and there
you
is
were
no
just
edge to fall off of.
mythical
I thought I was
creatures. Like dwarves.
Not
Check
a
out the
mythical-
ears. Check out the ears, buddy.
Yeah, now he's like fixated. He's like looking at your ears.
What do you mean dwarves are mythical creatures? What do you think Carvet is?
You're a dwarf?
Be awesome.
Well, this is a strange
You just
turn
thought
of
You
events.
just thought he was a short man, didn't you?
Right.
Yes.
Next thing you
I
know,
did too when I first met him.
Next thing you know, it's going to say the hobbits are mythical. Good grief.
What's a
Their
hobbit?
appetites are mythical.
No, he's gonna say, what is a hobbit?
What is that?
Hobbit.
Because he just did. What's a
Little
hobbit?
folk. Shirelings.
Yes.
They're like
Nothing
half,
higher.
Little people, me.
half of a ling.
No, here we know them as the Hobbitla. Or was that the Gondorians?
It
Yeah.
was the Rohirrim.
Halflings.
Yes, we're sometimes called halflings, hobbits.
He's like in the back of his tome and like the index, just looking for all of these words. Can't find any.
You mean the page they just tore out?
Can I see that, please, young
He like
lady?
asks for it back.
It's like, shilling, shiny. Can I have that page back, please?
Here.
No, nothing of Shire. What a strange word.
Oh well.
Well,
You
for
have
an-
a couple of
for an
gaps in your
out of
knowledge, I
character
think.
moment,
Yeah.
when the Kingdom of Arnor was still the Kingdom of Arnor, the Shire wasn't the Shire.
I mean, there's
Actually,
that.
late in the. Actually, let's see. It was,
No, not till it was Arthedain.
Oh yeah, you're right. It
Yeah.
has been split. yeah,
Hello,
yeah,
Middle
it
Earth
was-
lore. Okay, so out of character moment over. Sorry, but
So
that would
I
be
look-
why it's not in the book.
I look over to him and I ask, "How long have you been a lore master?"
Most of my life. I used to study and I used to preside over the great library of Trestlebridge.
Right.
Been a while since you've been with your book there, Master Lore. Master?
It's a very old book.
You just casually
pages,
ripped a
I'm
page
sure.
out of.
Yeah.
Listen, I have studied this book for a long time. I don't need these index pages for most of the things that I need to study.
But you don't deface the books; it lessens their value.
Now you're talking like an archivist.
An archivist. Yeah, that's what they call her, an
I just
archivist.
have an appreciation for old things.
And the
And money.
shinier, the better.
I seem to be exempt from that.
Oh,
Old things, not old people.
Yeah, well
I respect my elders when it's due.
when it's time. What time is it?
It's
I'm assuming we've just done dinner.
yeah, like it's still evening. It was evening when you got you can't see the outside right now, but it was evening when you got into the cage. It's caves, not cage, and it's only been like an hour or so since you've met Shannon Biana, since you've had dinner, and since this has happened.
So I asked him if he could make us a map based on the geography of where these kingdom or tribes used to be. to see if we could have a map of where they are now, based on the lore that's in his book.
I could work on that through the night. You should probably get to sleep. I will work on this, and I'll see what I have by the morning.
Thank you. That would be amazing.
I thought we were gonna go see if we could talk to Shanna again.
You can see if she will still take you. It might be her bedtime by now. Fjol, why don't you take them back to your mother? Fjol says, certainly. I will see if she is still awake. If she is not in her tent, then I will bring you to your tent. We have prepared a place for you to spend the night.
Okay.
Have a good evening, my friends.
To you as
Thank
well.
you.
He picks some cave claw meat off of the cloth binding of the back of the tome and eats it absentmindedly as you're leaving.
Oh God.
So once we're out of earshot,
Really
I'm
musty.
basically
Yeah, I
going
wanna-
to say that he's missing a couple of pages in his head.
Well, if he keeps tearing pages out of his book, I mean, he's probably missing some info.
I don't know
bet-
that encounter was particularly helpful.
I bet he eats some of the pages.
He uses it to wrap his cave claw meat
Yeah.
to get fiber. Oh my! So so we're not really any further along in terms of knowing about this stuff.
I'm not entirely sure what we're doing now.
So,
Good point.
I'm assuming Fiole's out of earshot probably, but he's leading you along. You're following him. He takes you back to Biana's tent, and there's still a fire light coming from inside. So he lifts open the flap, peers in, and then motions for you to come in. And Biana is still awake. Oh, hello. I see you've come back. I trust that you met with Master Gerald and it was informative?
Well, we met with Master Gerald. It unfortunately was not terrifically informative.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Did you eat first before he was telling you the story by any chance?
Yes.
That might explain it. He is a wise man. He's just very old. And something haunted him, which is why he came wandering out where he met us in the first place. I think it haunts him still.
Was it the Ghost King?
That is what he says.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard.
In the
You don't
traditions
buy
of
that.
our people, there are ghosts who inhabit the fields north of the town of the bridge, but I do not know if there is an actual king who would bear malice towards an old lore master such as him.
I would speculate they probably didn't appreciate, if there are such things, him snooping around.
Perhaps. Anyway, I trust you haven't come to see me just to talk about Master Gerald. Is there something I can help you with? I was just about to go to bed for the evening.
We just wanted to see if he's not able to come up with this information, if you might have any idea where we might find some of the other clans, because we were interested in trying to help you learn why all of this is going on, what's happening to your people.
It is funny that you should mention that. Some of our scouts who are keeping watch on the cave mouth, they reported that they had seen a campfire just over the hill to the south, and they're going to investigate. As far as we know, there are no other inhabitants in this area. Perhaps this is one of the other tribespeople. We'll see in the morning. They were instructed not to go too far, and to be back before nightfall. I haven't heard back from them yet, but
Well, While this is going on, I give Terry a wink that indicates that we're going to do the thing that we usually do when there's suspicious campfires at night.
Sarissa. Not
Sarissa.
Terry.
Sarissa.
I give Terry
yes.
a week.
Sarissa.
You probably want to talk about the armor that you spent so much time trying to recover. And
Yeah.
thank you again for bringing that to us. I've called a council. I have put out word to have a council meeting tomorrow evening. To give the other elders on the council some time to consider the best course of action for themselves. So tomorrow evening we will be having this council to determine what to do. Should we answer the call? And what to do about the other helmet, the Kriya helmet.
That is what I'm more curious about. With this, the lore master seemed to indicate that it had some position of authority. So why do you think the helmet would be separate from the tribe that carried it?
They were the head once upon a time. In the traditions of our people, several of our tribes were ashamed of what they had done in the betrayal of the North Kingdom, particularly once the true colors of the invaders from the north were shown. And our clan, the Kriya clan, and I'm not certain about some of the others, actually went into exile. So it may be that while once upon a time they were at the head of the clans, they gave up that right and someone else has discovered the armor. It could also mean that this armor is a trap, and it is not actually a call to reunite the tribes, but a call to bring us into one place where we can be dealt with.
A valid concern.
But, my role is more in mediating the day-to-day tasks of our people. The farmers, the explorers, and the guards, they no doubt have their own insight into matters such as this, which is why I would rather hold a council to hear all perspectives before deciding upon one course of action.
On the level of 1 to Falcon Clan, how much do we trust what's going on here?
The Falcon Clan.
I'm assuming this is an out-of-character question.
Yes.
I'm ambivalent. I'm halfway. Nobody's asked me to do anything yet, so I'm still kind of like, okay, it's a good story so far. I'm curious about this campfire, though, because we've had plagues of issues where people sneak up on us and track our movements unbeknownst to us, so I'm not too thrilled to hear that there's a campfire out there.
I look over at Carve and I give him a wink too.
Carve scowls back because the tone Anding is using.
Anyway, Fjall will bring you to your tent. We have arranged for you to spend at least a night, but really, this is not even our cave, so you are welcome to spend as much time as you'd like with us. We will send for you tomorrow when the council is beginning. The others of our people they know what you have done, and so they should be friendly enough towards you, but naturally we are suspicious of outsiders. It has been long since we have had friends beyond our own clan. But yes, thank you again for all that you've done for us.
Thank you as well, and thank you for meeting with us so late tonight.
Indeed.
Staying up late makes me feel like I'm young again.
Tomorrow you will remember otherwise. That's a lie.
So if none of you have anything else to ask Biana.
Nope.
Alright, so then Fiel says, come with me. And he takes you, it's not that far from Biana's tent actually. It's this sort of, you would think of it as like a pavilion style tent, except it's not made from cloth, of course. There's like hides that are draped over some poles. It's kind of some cross between like Native American teepee and like a modern camping tent, where like the main structure is just a bunch of sticks that have been propped up around the center, but then on the outside there are other sort of struts that have been tied together with twine, and then there's like aurochs or cowhide that have been draped over the sides. And inside, underneath the main cone, there's a small fire for light and for warmth. The understanding, of course, being that you would you would put it out when you wanted there to be less light. These are your quarters for as long as you would like. I am going back to my own place for now. Is there anything else I can get you before I leave you alone for the night?
No, thanks. This is great. See you in the morning.
And you as well, my friend. Thank you again for reminding me of everything that had happened.
No, thank you. It's great.
And thank you. No, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, really, thank you.
What strange customs these people have. And he wanders away, yawning. So inside the tent, as well as the campfire, there's also 5 woven pieces of like hides and furs that are presumably bedrolls, makeshift bedrolls.
So I kind of just motion over to Sarissa and Carve, since he's in on this too now, to have kind of a meeting.
Carve has no
outside of
idea
the-
he's in on it, but Anding thinks he's in on it.
Yeah.
Sarissa, you can kind of nudge him into our direction.
I'm not nudging him.
No, I want to hear what Anding has to say
He
now. 'cause
trusts
I don't
me
want
about as far as he
Anding.
can throw. Well, he trusts
I
me.
don't
enough-
trust either one of you two.
'Cause he
I want to
probably
know what's
can throw me
going on
pretty-
because I have a feeling that you two, with Mr. Winky Pants over there, are going to go cause a ruckus. So I want to know what's going on.
We're not gonna go
I
cross the rock.
give Andang a glare and I say, "What is in your mind, young champion?"
Well, knowing how little you trust anyone, I was thinking that this campfire would be a good opportunity to test the authenticity of what these people are saying.
How so?
Well, we go over there and see if what they say is the same as what we see.
So you want to sneak out of their cave, go check out this other campfire, and then come back and report on what we find?
We don't
Yeah.
have to report. They don't necessarily have to know that we've been gone.
Oh.
We can confront them if it turns out that the information is different from what they've told us, but, you know, it's a good way to see if they're actually on the level.
Okay, so how are we going to get out of the cave?
Sarissa will take care of that.
What's she
I
going to
can-
do? Sing him a lullaby?
I can... Actually, that's a fantastic idea.
That's pretty
Hey,
good.
May!
Hey!
Carvet had a fantastic idea. Maybe you should offer to sing a lullaby to some of the children.
And the guards.
So I offer to sing it to the children, but it's really for the guards, right?
For the whole cave. So we're going to sit in the corner and go, nah, 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 I'm not listening, nah, nah, nah,
So
nah,
you guys-
so that we
you guys
can sneak
still
out.
have-
Some sleepy music.
Well, we're in the same
Okay,
fellowship,
excellent.
so it's fine.
So let's see. So I should probably roll something, right? Like singing?
So you're just singing from inside your tent.
No,
We
we're
probably
gonna
need to
No,
like get more
I'm
we're gonna
open.
going
move over
the
to
campfire, right?
right by the guards and start singing them a song.
Okay, so let me just. I think so. This cave is like it's like a large underground cave.
Complex.
Yeah, it's a complex, and then
You have to sing the entire place to sleep. It's an
so you're gonna
amphitheater.
try going out to like the middle of the cave and just try singing really loudly.
Loudly would kind of defeat the purpose, but you know, she's an elf. She's got magic. She can make it. She can make it work.
And I can offer, I'll offer to sing for the children. I mean, I say to the women, right, the moms, let me sing a lullaby for your children. It'll help them sleep, and and you'll have a nice night of sleep too, because your children won't wake up.
First, we need to wake up Yule to get him to translate to the mothers so that they can understand.
I mean, like not only that, but then also each family is at their own tent or like tuck away inside the cave wall. So you'd probably also be going to each one, waking them up, then asking sing them to sleep.
I take May
How
by
about
the
if I
hand.
just play my lute in a position in the cave that's got really good acoustics, so it reaches.
Here's an idea. What if we just figure out what the path is between where we are given quarters and the front door, and deal with however many people are between there? And if anybody asks what we're doing while we're scouting, we'll say, "I'm looking for some water."
That's really brilliant, Carve.
That is a good
I
idea.
don't survive by listening to dumb plans.
So if you look outside your cave at the cavern, most of the lights have gone out. There aren't people outside as there were when you came in. You can't, you're nearby Shannon Biana's tent, which was opposite the place where you came in. So you are going to be walking basically the length of the cavern before you get to the tunnel that goes back to the top world.
Can we have May very quietly playing a James Bond lullaby while we're going on this infiltration scheme? Very quiet.
James Bond lullaby. Go to sleep, hillman. Don't wake and find us sneaking. Stay asleep.
Pineleaf, what are you doing in all of this?
Yeah, what are you doing, Pineleaf? Are you cooking?
What do I notice?
I mean, yeah, how exactly were did it just so happen that
Sounds
three?
like they're trying to arrange it so that I had no idea what was going on.
No. I'm pretty sure that Andang is like next to impossible to be quiet. So there's no way that you didn't overhear that.
What the
The whole conversation.
The whole conversation.
I think I probably was a little bit loud, like, "Hey, I want to know what you're up to, buddy." And Pineleaf could have.
All right, then.
So it just depends on how tired you are, I guess, Pineleaf.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there is that. Let's see.
Pineleaf is welcome to come scout too, because Pineleaf is sneaky.
Yes, I think I will volunteer to scout with him.
Okay.
This is interesting.
So should I station myself somewhere that if like somebody wakes up and they're on the verge of being discovered, that I change my song to something else, like Camptown Races or something like that, to guess that
Combat
they
buff
better
and sleep.
That's right. They better stop scouting and kind of come back in or whatever, because
Similar to those troll barrels from that one instance.
right. That's right.
So all of you are leaving your tent, crossing the cavern. Are you going to be playing a
This is a
lullaby
really
during
big
this?
cave, right? This is a really huge cave, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's big.
This seems really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Before we leave, we stuffed our beds to look like that there's still people in there, in case anybody just happens to come by.
Oh, that's not going to look suspicious at all.
I mean, I'll let you do it, but what are you stuffing the bedrolls with?
The pillow and whatnot.
Cave claw meat.
Cave club.
We're fed a buffet.
That you smuggled out.
We would have to stuff it with the gear that we brought with us, like our own backpacks and stuff.
So on a scale from 1 to not planned at all, how likely did you plan us to be doing this mission, Gray?
Not at all.
Yay, success!
Yeah. But
That's why he's asking us all these questions.
I mean, it's not just because I hadn't planned for it. It's because I'm given the size of the cavern, given that once you're out of the cavern, you have to make sure you don't go down the wrong tunnels to get back to the surface. But once you're on the surface, you're in the middle of that forest again. I'm surprised you would consider leaving the cave at all.
But Carvette's got excellent
Yeah, Carvette's got us covered.
direction. Yeah.
Well, let's see. While they're discussing how we're going to get across the cave, I'm going to roll a explore check to see if I remember how to get out of the cave.
That would be navigation, I would say, not exploration.
Navigation? Okay. Navigation check. You know, I was tired when we got here.
Oh my
I'm sure I can
gosh.
get us out of the cave.
Oh my gosh. Or back in
Okay.
again.
And then once we do get out, getting back in
Pine
is an
Leaf?
entirely different
All right.
matter.
I see how much trouble we're having getting out. I said, I think I'd rather go to bed.
Finally. I'm out. Yo, hobbits out. Going to bed.
I just know that this is going to be one fiasco.
What about the rest of you?
If Sarissa's still going, I'm still going.
If you want to
I'm
go
still
ahead,
going.
you can go ahead with it. I won't stop you. But
I'm going to bed.
I'm letting you know the challenges
Carve's out.
now.
Carve just realized
Are you joining us?
we got in here, so I'm out. I'm gonna go down.
At least till the edge of the cave so we can sneak out. May.
Right.
Okay.
Am I rolling? Am I
I
supposed to
still
roll
want to
something,
explore
or-
with.
We're just wondering if you're still going.
Oh, I'm with you.
Get out.
Oh no, I'm with you. I'm with
Cool.
you. Yeah, I don't sleep, so it's fine.
Who's
true.
the least stealthy of all of you?
Probably ending.
Me.
Actually, it's May.
What?
What?
Yeah, Andang has a 0 in stealth. You have a -1.
That is true, and it's just because Sarissa's stealth just kind of breathes onto me, basically.
So May, I'm gonna have you roll for stealth. Okay. So this is your last. Are you sure? Click OK or cancel.
Enter instance.
Okay. You entered the instance. So Carven Pine, you're staying behind, or are you going with them to the other side of the cave?
I'm going to the bedroll and going to sleep.
Okay.
I'm kind of trailing behind because I am looking for some water, and I'm also getting a lay of in the cave, getting a good understanding about what's going on inside the cave at least. Maybe getting to the mouth of where they're at.
So you set off from your tent. So Pine Leaf, are you leaving the fire going while you try to go to bed?
Well, going to. What
Alright.
is the current state of the fire?
Roaring, like fireplace status. You can
Roaring?
smother it with some leaves and stuff that are next to it to dampen it down without
Yeah.
putting it out.
Yeah. Okay. I'll bank the fire so that it's not using the fuel too much, but leave it so it could, be rekindled if needed.
Okay. So you leave the dimmer light of the tents behind and you go out, and it's dark in the cave. There are a few cracks far in the ceiling above, which are letting a little bit of moonlight shine in, so there's like a dark bluish tint to everything that you see. But the path is easy enough to find. And you go across it, and as you're looking around, like I said, like most of the fires are out. What fires aren't out are behind closed tents, and they're banked like yours now is. There aren't many fires. There's a few pinpoints of light from various other dwellings in the sides of the cave. And as pretty much when you get to the middle of the cave, there's like probably one of you shuffles or scuffles. We'll say it's May since you're the one who rolled it. Since I told you to roll it, and you happen to be in that one sweet acoustic spot, and so there's just an echo of that all throughout the cave. And someone from like behind where you've just walked past sort of like sleepily pokes their head out of the cave and like mumbles something in a language you don't understand. What do you do?
Oh, I will mumble something back because I've been talking to what's his face, and I have no clue what I'm saying, but I'm just mimicking something that he told me.
Just
Clever.
say agua.
Okay. That would be what, Lord people, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. Like he's like, so you say random gibberish at him, and or not random gibberish that sounds like stuff that Clabber would say.
Yeah.
And
To me, it sounds like random gibberish, but it's a string of phrases that I heard Clabber say.
Sure.
So it probably sounds like intelligible stuff to him.
So, I mean, like, I'm thinking, like, if we had the subtitles, what he mumbled to you was, like, some sleepy, like, what's going on, or who's there? And then the string that you say back is something along the lines of, I really like the handiwork on this greave. And so, like, the sleepy guy's, you know, he's foggy-minded enough, is like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And he just goes back into his...
He assumes
He goes back
that
inside.
The engraving
he's
detail of
gonna
his
hear that.
craftsmanship fills my heart with glee.
Okay, so you resume your walking, and you
How
make it,
far were we when that happened?
like, about halfway across the cavern.
Okay.
So, as you continue going across the cave, like, yeah, like you're not, no one notices you. You don't really make any noises. I guess before you get to the other side, you'll see there are two people on guard, but they're facing away from you. They're making sure no one comes in. After all, who would be foolish enough to leave this cave in the middle of the night?
I've got no clue.
I mean, so what? Are you just going to continue? Are you going to try to bluff your way through them? Or are you going to try?
We'll try bluffing our way through them. I have a perfect way to bluff our way through them.
I stand back
Okay.
and watch from the shadows.
I just look over at Sarissa and I say, "Stealth Plan 32?" Question mark.
I like to think that you say it too. You don't even whisper it. Stealth Plan 32?
Hey, everybody!
What are we doing? We're hiding in plain sight. Go.
Okay, so Carve is hanging back. The other three of you are approaching the hillman.
Exactly that one, Sarissa.
Okay. Yes. Stealth Plan 32.
So then, as you get closer to the two of them, one of them is really just like propped up against the tunnel entrance, and he's just dozed off. The other one is more alert, but again facing the other direction. I'll let you. So if you get close enough without doing anything, he'll notice movement and he'll turn to look at you, unless you do something first. I don't know what you plan to do.
We're planning Stealth Plan 32.
Stealth Plan 32, which is we're going to keep walking until he turns to look at us, and then I'm going to do what they do in Lotro when you do the bio animation. Which is, I really gotta pee!
And we're all going to do it
There
synchronously.
Point toward the exit.
So all three of you are doing the potty dance and pointing at the
Synchronized,
tunnel.
yes.
I'm not. I'm just
Well, you know how ladies, they all gotta go together.
We'll just say that Maven's our bodyguard for
I
protection
have
while we go outside.
night vision, so I'm.
She
I'm
provides,
Got the best eyesight.
provides
No, wait,
the-
they don't understand it.
Yeah, and he doesn't understand. I mean, like, he understands your gestures, and so like
we could say whatever we want.
like he's
and they wouldn't
blabbering
care.
something at you. Like he's there's like concern on his face. Like he doesn't want you to leave the cave because
But
it's
that
dangerous
body
out
is
there.
universal.
Like, what do you do?
And
Are you just gonna-
swords. Just
We
point
do,
it at your sword.
Stealth
You'll be
Plan
fine.
32 again, with even more enthusiasm. Like it's getting worse. We really have to.
So he's like gesturing off to the side. With there's like a moon symbol carved into the rock.
Oh, that's the part of the cave you're supposed to relieve yourself in. Gotcha. Won't drink from the water on that
Like,
side.
like if there's subtitles, it's like, why would you have to leave the cave to do that? And like the person who's been dozing off is starting to stir because of the commotion.
May, lullaby time.
Lullaby time. Okay. All right.
You have an instrument skill, right?
Yeah. And singing? Should I be singing? I should sing, right?
Yeah.
Performance skills is
Okay.
what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Oops. Wait a minute. Hold on. Why is it bringing? It's bringing up an input value attribute wits. Attribute wits. It's not rolling for me.
Put it in your wits modifier.
Put in my wits. Oh, my wits.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The modifier.
Okay.
Is that
Modifier.
not automatic?
No, it's not.
I guess
That's
not.
another thing that
No.
needs to be changed.
Yeah.
I guess not. I gotta find wits. Where's wits? Sorry,
It's up at the
guys.
top.
Oh, it's up at the top.
It's under attributes.
Oh, there it is.
Modifier
I got it.
0.
Yeah, modifier 0. Okay. Well, that's what's in there.
Well, then hit enter or
Yeah.
the button or whatever.
Oh,
There's a
got it. Okay. There we go. All right.
Oh man.
Oh, wow.
They're snoring. They're out. They're no problem.
Yeah, sure. With a roll like that. So yeah, like the person who was going to who was already asleep is just he's back asleep, and just both your voice and the elvish magics, quote unquote, from your performance, it just I wouldn't say it puts him to sleep like immediately, but it just he's calmed down. He's no longer like as alert, and you can just like move past him. So now you're in the tunnels. Carve, are you still with
Now
them?
what?
I'm
No.
watching from the shadows a little ways back.
Oh, okay, good. All
I
right.
Okay,
think.
can I make a fate roll to see if I luck into the way out?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna suggest.
I was gonna make you do an exploration roll or navigation. Sorry.
I don't have either of those skills, but I'm really lucky.
Do any of you have navigation? Nope.
Now,
All right, you can trust in your luck. You're not lucky. Okay, so the tunnel's a lot darker. Do any of you have any means to make torches or anything that you brought with you?
I don't.
I do have
At this
exploration
point-
if that helps.
At this point, Carve is going to sneak back and try and grab a torch because he realizes he's probably going to have to go in after them.
Yeah, you're gonna have to save us.
So you start trekking back across the cavern.
No, I'm looking for any torch materials that are nearby.
Oh, okay.
Should probably not be that far.
There's a torch probably in like the guard's pack or something.
Yeah, well, they're nice and asleep, so I'm gonna be quiet and nick one of their torches.
Okay. And so now you're entering the tunnel as well.
Well, I'm standing at the entrance of the tunnel, listening for them to see if they're gonna get lost, and I'll give them a few more rounds of play to see how they're gonna turn out.
Well, thanks, Carve.
I mean, yeah, so since you made a fate roll, I'm going to say that you've already proceeded into the tunnels. Carve, if you go after them at this point, you can hand them the torch. Otherwise, they're going to arrive somewhere.
I haven't gotten into the tunnel yet. I just have a torch.
Okay. So the rest of you are stumbling in the dark, straining your eyes to see if you can find any of the moonlight, but the tunnel twists. You'll walk forward and then you'll feel like the presence of a wall, so you put your hand out and you can follow it. So eventually you come, like feeling your hand along the wall, you feel a tunnel, or at least a turn in the wall. What do you do?
We
Wait for
follow the
Carve.
wall.
Okay, so you make the turn. Okay, so this tunnel. Let me roll to find out which tunnel you go down to. I actually had prepared this. I just didn't think we'd get to it now.
Oh, good.
That tunnel.
So this tunnel. If you remember, on the way down, the main tunnel sort of goes down. You've gone into one of the side tunnels. The air is a lot mustier than the one you were in. You have a chance to turn back now if you would like to, but this one is starting to turn away. It's going up again. It's continually going up.
Can we see a red campfire glow at the end of this tunnel?
No.
This
There's
is not
no-
as easy as I thought it was going to be.
I don't like tunnels.
Are you going to turn back and follow the wall, or are you going to press on?
Let's go talk to Carve, wherever he went up to. Where's Carve? What happened to Carve, everybody? We need to go find Carve.
Good idea.
Leaning nonchalantly on the cave, on the cave wall, not too far in the tunnel past the guards.
You're
with the
leading,
torch.
and you're
Deciding whether
smoking
or
a
not I'm
pipe,
gonna
waiting
come
for us to
in.
show back up
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm listening to see if I hear any noises down the tunnel.
Okay, so if you can follow the walls back, and so you meet Carve again. There's a sleeping guard and just like a really tired guard sitting with his back to the entrance to the tunnel, rethinking his job.
So Carve, how about you lead the way?
We'll try again.
So now that you have a torch and you can see the tunnel and you're not just trying to remember the way out, you can roll the navigation again. Okay. So, with a lit torch lighting your way, you're following just the main tunnel. You see other side tunnels going off to the side, and you ignore them. But eventually, you come to a fork in the tunnel. You're not sure which one would be the main tunnel and which one would be a different way that you didn't come in. You can go left or right.
I check the ground to see which side shows more traffic.
All right, that'd be wits, I guess. Okay. The one on the right shows more traffic.
There's one thing I've learned from living in the suburbs: the ground usually shows traffic heading out of the neighborhood. So go that direction.
And this one smells better anyway, so clearly it's the right way.
I love how he agrees with me and then makes it seem like it's his idea.
Yeah, you just get you just
Get
either
used
used
to
to
it.
it or you learn to ignore it.
I see. Okay.
I speak from experience.
So you take the right path out of the tunnel, and after some more walking, it turns out to have been the right path. You find yourself in this wooded area. There are no guards at the mouth of this tunnel.
Thank goodness.
but you can see the moon filtering in through leafy canopies and cold, imposing trees before you.
Did we realize which direction this campfire was from the tunnel?
They said to the south.
Okay. Do you know which
They
way
did say
south
to the
is?
south, right? I'm asking out of character to the game master. They did say to the south, right?
Yeah, they said it was to the south.
Because Sarissa was paying attention.
Yeah. I don't remember if we ever specified a direction where the cave mouth opened.
No, they just said to the south. They just said that the campfire was to the south.
Yeah,
Because the scouts had gone to the south.
right.
So the opposite direction of the moss.
We're gonna feel the
The
trees.
moss
with
that
that.
you cannot see because it's so dark.
We got a
Well, I
torch.
have a torch.
There's more light now that they're out of the cave. There's
Yeah,
not
there's
much,
moonlight.
but there's more
Yeah.
light.
There's more.
Well, actually, it's probably after moonset right now because I had looked up the moon.
Pine leaf.
We got a torch regardless, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, or you have a torch. That is true.
Yeah, I
Don't make
think
this
that
more
we might
difficult than it
wanna.
already is.
I want to think about maybe putting the torch out if we're gonna try and sneak up on somebody's campfire.
We might want somebody to go in front of the torch to at least see if they can see it, the campfire in the distance.
That's a good point.
So
Yeah, what is
I'm
it
gonna
we're
hold
doing
point
again?
at the.
Why is
I'm
it-
gonna hold.
Why
I'm
is
gonna
it we're
hold.
doing this again?
I'm gonna hold point at the cave entrance with my torch, and I suggest that Andang and Sarissa and/or try to move southerly so that we can figure out where this campfire may or may not be.
Okay, so you move in the direction you believe is south. I mean, it'll be a mostly southern direction. I'll give that to you. And like your main trouble right now is you can't see far into the distance because of all the trees. So you're going to have to break from the tree cover before you try seeing if there's a campfire in the distance.
okay, let's try to do that then.
You're just going to keep walking?
For a little bit.
All right. Someone give me exploration.
Somebody who's actually moving.
I'm gonna explore. this
Carve is by the cave mouth.
Okay. So, Andang, who's going with Andang?
Oh no. That was a decent roll. Come on,
Is
guys.
it just Andang?
I'm going with Andang.
Okay, so Andang and Sarissa, you start walking, trying to find your way around. And after a few minutes, you see a small point of light in front of you. And as you get closer, you see a dwarf holding a torch. And he's in front of a cave mouth. What do you do?
Is
What
there
a
an elf
cool-
nearby? Is there an elf nearby? You may not be able to see the elf in the dark.
So yeah, I mean, on the exploration table, you have found the Phylacta Levant.
Well, hey there, Andang. You find anything on your foray out of the woods? That was pretty fast. You're working pretty good in the dark.
I was leaning to the left a little bit continuously. We'll be straighter this time.
And they
Right.
wonder why I went to bed.
Yeah.
I feel like Pineleaf is just wanting Pineleaf the player, not the character, is just waiting for a brand new group who won't throw his character in a body bag to join them.
I would never throw Pineleaf into a body bag.
I just
Famous
imagine
last
finally
words.
dreaming a dream about like all the bad things that are happening to us, and just like having a smile get bigger and bigger on his face while he's falling asleep.
Yeah. He's having a Galadriel-esque vision of what all of you are going through. Revenge, sweet revenge. Right. So if you're gonna try again, then Sarissa, give me the exploration roll this time.
Oh, sure.
Great.
Because that's worked out so well so far. Hey, I rolled higher than ending.
Okay. So you pick your way through the forest, and you, after like 10 minutes or so, you're moving among trees, and let me do a roll actually. Okay. So you're moving around the trees, and you come into this clearing where there isn't even that much overhead canopy, and so the moon's just coming down. It's a well-lit clearing, and you can see that to the south there isn't that much farther to go. To the west, past some sparse trees, you see a small point of light.
Did Carve and May follow us this time?
I'm still holding the cave entrance. I don't know what May's
As
doing.
far as I know, I'm still following you.
Oh, okay.
I ask May what her elf eyes see.
Oh, great.
You can
Shall I
give
roll
me,
something?
yeah, so that'd be either wits or insight. And I'll give you different information depending on which one you use.
How's that?
Okay. Which direction are you? I mean, okay, yeah. I guess just you're intuiting from all around. When you look over at the small point of life, that's totally Carve. and when you look south, you can see that it looks like it's clearing up because you're coming to the end of a steep drop off. So if you continue in your southerly direction, you'll be jumping off a cliff.
We're gonna be falling. So guys, I think we need to stop here because if we go much further, we're gonna fall off a cliff.
GM hint. On the other hand, you would also have visibility if you reach that drop-off point.
Well, if we reach the drop-off
able to
point,
see
so we
it.
just need to be
Oh yeah,
careful.
you can see.
You just need to be
So we just need to be
yeah.
careful. We just need to not go blundering off into
Right.
to
What lies
thin
beneath.
air. That's right. What lies
What
beneath.
lies beneath? A nameless fear. It's
And
nameless,
apparently
we
May
don't
is
know what
afraid
it
of
is
heights,
yet.
so that's good to know.
Yeah.
I remember what happened last time she
I don't
was
like-
on a cliff.
That's
Last time
right.
She was held up. Yeah,
Yeah,
someone was
I was a
shooting
little
arrows at
traumatized.
her.
My
fell
neck was
top of it.
traumatized too, thank you very much.
Right, so what do you do?
Well, let's
You're
at
not-
least go over towards the cliff and see if we can see anything from there.
Okay. So picking your way carefully through the trees, you come to the cliff, but you don't drop off. And looking out, you can see some of the wetlands below. The moon's reflecting off of the still surface of the waters. You hear distant chirpings and chitterings of nighttime creatures. And beyond the wetlands, you see where it dries off, and there start to be hills again. And sort of in a pass between two hills, there's just a small, dim red light. Possibly a campfire, possibly something else.
How long would it take to get over there? Approximately.
It would be an hours-long trip once you picked your way down to that ground level.
We came this far.
That's right.
Okay.
Let's go.
Are you leaving Carve by the cave entrance?
He should probably be defending it anyway, since the guards are kind of incapacitated. It's up to him, though.
Well, I'm not seeing what they're seeing, so I'm just kind of
Yeah.
settling up to see if they're going to come back.
Yeah, so it's been about like 10 to 15 minutes since they left. What are you thinking right now?
I'm thinking that I hope they can find their way back. That's the
Okay.
reason I'm staying here, is because I don't think they can. They can see the torch, they'll be fine.
How tired are you?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
But years and dozens of years of exploration has taught me to be a light sleeper. So if I nod off, it will take a significant, very little noise to wake me up.
Okay. So going back to our intrepid explorers, how are you going to try to get down the cliff? Are you going to try and find another way? Because you didn't climb any cliffs to get to the cave, so you know there's at least a way through the forest where you don't have to do any climbing. Or are you going to try climbing down?
I want to see if I can at least see a way around, maybe, from where we're at. A potential way down.
Alright, that'd be tactics, I guess. Okay. Going like straight down is definitely out of the question. There's very few handholds close by where you are, and the cliff itself starts to dip underneath where you're standing as you get closer to the bottom. So it's not a good idea to try climbing down that direction. If you go a little bit more like off to the side, closer to the cave entrance, the cliff is a little bit less steep, and you might be able to pick your way down that direction.
Well, I guess let's go over there.
Okay. So all of you are going to take that route. And
Yeah. He's
all of you
actually
give
probably
me,
going to have the hardest time because May and I are fairly light.
so each of you give me athletics checks.
Here's where I die.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
I
not
said it
bad.
before I rolled, finally, for the record.
That's
Can we substitute acrobatics if we have it?
It's more like saying to save you if you have a bad athletics check. I
yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So, Andang, what order are you going?
I go first since I saw the way.
Yeah, so like we'll say that when you reach this part where you're going down, it's pretty much like you'll climb down one by one. You can't really go en masse, or you'd just be like stepping on each other's hands and stuff, getting in the way. So Andang goes first. Probably, since he's had time to think about this beforehand, so he's picking his way down. He's choosing firm footing and he's grasping. But I'm gonna say that probably like his weight is weakening some of like the rocks that are jutting out of the cliff that he's using as hand and footholds. So May and Sarissa, when you come next,
I'm spotting, by the way, once I reach the bottom.
Oh, you.
Well,
okay,
that's good.
You reach the
Spotting
bottom.
with what?
Yeah, like are
With
you?
my hands. Have you never heard of spotting for mountain climbers?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
like
but
acrobatics and
if
stuff.
you have to go down, you're going down a pretty good ways, and so I'm guessing 20, 30 feet. You can only spot from so close.
It'll be
May
fine.
comes down and she slips and tumbles, and you catch her as she
Again?
Jack and Jill's down the hill.
Gee whiz.
May
So-
fell down, broke her lute, and Sarissa came tumbling after.
May and Sarissa, did you wait for Andang to reach the bottom before climbing down, or are you just letting him go a good distance?
I'm waiting. I don't know about
Yeah,
Sarissa.
no, I'm waiting for him to get all the way down.
Sarissa
Okay.
was probably just waiting to laugh at me when I messed up. So
So who goes next after Andang reaches the bottom? Keeping in mind, this is like 5 stories high of a cliff.
Jeez.
he mentions that
I
after
guess
we
I
roll.
go.
Notice how
I know, I like that. I guess I go next.
Okay. So, as you know, the handholds that you saw Andang using are no longer very structurally sound. About halfway through just like the rock that you're holding just pulls free of the cliff.
Great.
Give me an agility or acrobatics check.
So I'd fall and break my leg, right? Where's agility at? Oh, agility's up top, right?
Agility's up top. You have a 0. You have a 0 in agility. You have a -1 in acrobatics.
Yes, and a -1 in So. Oh! I hear the sound. I hear that sound of breaking bone. That sound.
That's literally the lowest you can roll.
I know. Oh my god.
So.
Oh no.
Sarissa,
Mandos is calling.
We'll come back to May. Sarissa, you see, looking from above, May has reached about halfway down the cliff, and just part of the cliff, like in the moonlight, you can see there's a rock in her hand, so you assume that the cliff is broken, and you just see her free falling away from the cliff towards the bottom. What do you do?
Say goodbye. Bye.
May goodbye.
I'm gonna drop so that I'm not like standing up when I do this. Drop and kind of lean over, grab the edge of the cliff, but lean over and yell down. So hopefully my voice doesn't carry like everywhere. And then catch her.
Okay. Let me see.
We falling.
I'm gonna say, give me. Okay, so I don't know how to handle this. I guess Andang, give me a wits check. Sarissa, give me an intimidate check.
Matter.
Maybe.
Well,
Or
wits are muddled.
Huh? I mean, for like how well your voice actually give
Not
an
gonna
ending
matter.
wits check. I don't think it matters.
Doesn't matter.
So ending doesn't hear. So.
Oh no!
So from Sarissa's view, you just see May hit the bottom. Ending probably sees it like you were spotting the cliff. You were just sort of looking up, and you were probably just like in shock when you just see her
Hopefully I
body
didn't land
just
on him.
pull away
I
from the
didn't land on him,
cliff
did I?
entirely. Oh jeez. May, give me a fate check. This is your last saving grace before you take a lot of damage.
Come on, roll. Oops, sorry, I did it twice. Can I have the second one, please? Elves don't cry. Elves don't cry. Elves don't cry. I'll let the game master decide what he's gonna pick and have me do. It's okay. It's all
back
right.
to Pine Leaf, who's just happily sleeping. In his
Yeah, he's just snoring away, dreaming of bacon.
I was deciding which dice I would use.
Ah.
You're lucky, May. So you take 2 damage.
Oh my!
Fortunately,
That
you're
is
light.
Really fortunate.
Yeah,
fortunately,
you are very. I hope you realize how lucky you are.
Oh, I am gonna go buy a lottery ticket tomorrow.
Well,
Elves
I
are
think
light
you
on their
fell-
feet, even when
I
they're
think
not
you
on the
fell
cliff.
onto a bush.
yeah, as
yeah.
long as I didn't fall into Andang, that would be bad.
Because you're in the wetland, so it's probably the mud and the water cushion your fall.
Oh, so I'm all wet and
Plus
muddy.
you're
now.
right. Yeah, so you're.
She
So-
fell into a nice bog.
So in addition to, you only take 2 damage, but I'll say that if you have to do any agility or acrobatics checks, it'll be an extra -1 disadvantage because now you're
Because now I'm
covered in
hurt.
mud and water and it's
Oh,
weighing you
I'm
down.
So next
Plus,
week
yeah,
our
if
adventure is
you-
we're gonna do laundry, right? That's what we're gonna do next
If you've got the wind
episode.
knocked out of you too, like that,
Oh,
that
dear.
doesn't go away.
That's not good.
So yeah, so there are story effects to falling a couple stories, but
But just remember, elves glisten.
That's right. Unlike vampires, which sparkle.
No,
So,
they don't.
Anding, what do you do once May just lands in front of you? There's just a big splash.
Elf minstrel falling.
Incoming minstrel.
I just look over and I say, man, I caught you well.
Oh my God! Not even are you
ladies are
alone.
always
Well,
following
This is
for
before he
Anding.
sees whether she's moving, whether she's getting back.
Wow!
Not even are
That's
you okay?
cold. That is cold.
Oh wow.
I could just see Andang going, the ladies are always following for the Andang.
So May, you know, like everything happened really quickly. One moment, like you were looking over and noticed that you were holding a piece of the cliff in your hand. The next moment, it registered that you were no longer attached to the cliff at all.
Right.
And now suddenly there's just this, there's a dull ache in your back. You're soaking wet and muddy. The wind's been knocked out of you, and you hear Andang saying, "Man, I caught you well."
And I rush over and help May up.
Nice save. Well, I'm still kind of in shock. I mean, I had, the halls of Mandos flash before my eyes as I was falling, so I'm just like, can't believe I'm actually still here. So I'm kind of like dazed,
And
you
knees are
know.
probably shaking as you come.
Yeah, and I mean, so it hasn't even really registered. I mean, the fact that Andang's come over to help me is probably registering more than what he said prior. Fortunately for him,
Can you give me
because
another?
I would have to play some blind guardian at him if. Okay, let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay.
I mean, unless you want me to use your first roll.
No,
For
no,
this
no, no,
new-
no, no, no,
Roll
no,
another
no.
one, May.
There you go. That one.
Fortune smiles, another day of white
So-
animals.
None of your instruments are broken somehow. You are very lucky.
Yay! That was that's good.
I'm surprised none of them got any water damage.
I know. Well, they're elven. They're elven
Actually, wait,
instruments.
what?
So they
Yeah,
have...
what instruments do you have actually? You have
Well, I have a
lute?
lute. Yeah, I have a lute.
Yeah, so it's
um,
waterlogged, but you can pour the water
But I
out the bowl.
Yeah, I can fix it.
So it got some good elven weatherproofing varnish on it.
Yeah, Elrond helped out with that.
It like this while the strings are wet, you can't play. So I'll say until like they've been sun dried, and like it's hide, so it might stretch. It might sound a little bit like twangy afterwards, but you can tune it.
I can tune it. It'll dry out.
And she can still sing, so there's that.
That's
Not
right.
right now.
Not right
In
now.
a bit.
Yeah. Okay, so Sarissa then. So from your view, you saw the hole falling down. You yelled, but Andang just wasn't paying attention. May hits the ground. There's just a big splash that obscures your vision of what happened. But as you
I just
continue
add
watching,
so much to this group. I just keep falling all the time. It's great.
you see that she is getting back to her feet. So, are you going to take the climb now?
Well, I'm going to pick my way along the cliff a little bit more to see if I can find better handholds.
Smart, very smart girl.
Give me a tactics check. Yeah. It's all pretty homogeneous once you're out here.
Well, the path that wasn't weakened by Andang.
Yeah, okay, so you can find another path that's not weakened by Andang.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start picking your way along that path, and as you reach about halfway down, you hear this buzzing noise. And as you look up on your over your shoulder, there's this giant fly wasp thing with huge wings, just sort of looking quizzically at you. And as it's looking at you and you're looking at it, you start to hear more humming, And as you look up, you see there's some more of these just descending on your
climb
location.
faster.
So okay, so you're ignoring them. You're just gonna focus on what you're doing, just try to climb down. Okay. I'll say that you reach probably like 5 feet from the ground before they just start swarming you. At which point, if you would like, you can jump off without taking any damage.
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump.
Okay.
And
Alright,
land
so-
and roll and be all graceful.
Well, you're in the mud, so I don't know how.
Oh, watch me!
Okay. So Sarissa gracefully leaps off of the cliff and tucks and rolls in the mud. She comes up looking filthy, and she's been rolling in mud. The insects are still, like, they're following you, but now they've noticed the other two. What do the three of you do? You can try to swat these bugs. You can try to run.
Let's make sure we're going the right way and then start moving fairly quickly away.
Okay, so yeah, you can see the direction towards, because now you can, like, now that you're on the same level, you can see that dim red light in the distance, so you can run towards that.
Cool.
I guess all of you give me agility checks. May, you're at -1.
Agility, okay.
Yeah, I mean, so just roll like normal, but we'll treat
Okay.
it as.
And
one
you'll make the adjustment. Oh, yippee.
Okay, so May and Ending, you're going at a moderate speed. Sarissa's trailing slightly behind. The insects are buzzing after you, but after a while, they lose interest and stop following. Fortunately for you.
I love how Lotro mobs work.
Rubber banding at the best.
Well, actually, flies tend to lose interest even before
Yeah.
rubber banding.
So, Carve, it has now been about 45 minutes since they left you. What are you thinking? Are you still awake?
I'm thinking I prop my torch up, and I have a seat, and I chill back against the side of the mountain in a relaxed yet light sleep.
And you're lucky as well. Okay, nothing happens. Pine Leaf, what are you dreaming of?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Is there anything I should roll to see whether or not I have anything to
I mean,
be able to dream something that's telling me what they're doing, or if my dreams are going to be so totally related because I'm really homesick and would rather dream of food.
Okay, yeah, give me a fate roll. We'll see if you get like a Galadriel type dream.
Okay,
It would be great if Pineleaf just woke up in like a cold sweat, thinking of like how Maven fell or something like that.
Oh, yeah, premonition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me think. Okay, yeah. So you're sleeping peacefully. I mean, there's nothing to fear inside this cave, of course. You're not trying to go back into that godforsaken forest that you just came through, where everyone gets lost.
Right.
And your mind, this is the first good rest you've had in a while, since you're in comfortable furs and skins. You probably taken some extra padding from some of the others, since they're not going to be needing it.
Right.
And this certainly beats sleeping on the hard floor of that upstairs bedroom in Trestle Bridge, and you haven't had a good long rest in a while. So your mind drifts, you're at ease, you start to relax, and your mind wanders back to Staddle. And you see some of your friends from the Staddle Watch just sort of going about their day, doing what they do with the goblins in the ruins. And you sort of see, you don't know if this actually happened or not, but it seems like they had victory over the goblins, and there's no one left in the Midgewater marshes. And the the watch is starting to push out and clear the marshes in general. There's a little bit of trouble with spiders, but it's nothing that the watch can't handle. And then you sort of pan. Which direction shall I take you? You pan east. You're going along the Great East Road. And there's just this figure who is just sort of like glowing. And now you know you're just dreaming, and this is sort of a vision. But there's just this really bright, glowy figure standing on a bridge, and he's fighting just like these whirling shadow creatures. And eventually they just sort of give up. He beats them off, and you see he has this, like he leaves part of his sparkling essence in like the floor as he goes back across the bridge in the direction away from you. And if you move closer through your mind vision, you see that there's just this bright jewel that's left at the foot of the bridge. And then you pan north, and this will be the last pan in your vision. You get like a small sense of vertigo, and you realize that you're going up, like altitude-wise, as well as going north. And you just see this, like the burnt-out husk of a tower, and surrounding it are just these statues of just imposing warriors in full armor, and they have a sword that's point down at the base of the statue and like an outraised hand, and they seem to be guarding this tower. And like the door opens to the tower, and inside you just see blackness. But as like that probably sort of jolts you awake, and as you jolt awake, you just hear this unfamiliar voice in your head. I await you.
Whoa.
I await you.
Oh.
Oh. Dum dum dum.
So going back.
Hey, what kind of voice does it sound like? A friendly voice, a sinister voice?
It's a pretty neutral voice.
Okay.
It's not intimidating, but it's also not friendly. It's like in your dream mind, because you've seen like the other Saddle Watchers, it's probably like it's similar to the voice of the captain of the Saddle Watch.
Okay.
Like the sort of same tone as when he would dispatch you for duties.
All right. Okay, that means it is a command almost then.
Perhaps. It's definitely no place you've ever seen yourself before.
Okay.
Okay, so Sarissa and Andang, give me vitality checks to see how tired you're getting after on no sleep running away from the swarm of insects. Okay.
I'm good.
Yes, Sarissa's great. Andang, you're starting to slow a little bit. If you've reached the edge of the wetlands, you're on solid ground. It's been probably an hour or so since you've left Carve behind. You can choose to.
An hour and a half at this point.
It's like an hour and a half since you left the cave. I mean, like, not much time has taken place while Pineleaf was having his dream vision. You can try to make camp on this now solid ground, or if you want, you can continue pushing on. But none of you are really feeling the effects of fatigue yet.
I mean, we're less than an hour from the fire, so let's go that way. We're almost there.
I wouldn't say you're less than an hour from the fire.
That's what you said earlier.
I said it was going to take you hours to reach the fire.
He said it would take you an hour to get across the swamp.
Okay. Well, we'll still go. We're fine.
Okay. So you push on.
Rises with her rosy fingers of.
Yeah.
Not yet. It's closer to midnight-ish right now. You're setting off. You went from mud to dirt. Now you're getting to like sparse grassland, and hills are rising up on each side of you. Who hasn't given me a navigation check?
I think
May, would you like to do navigation to see how on course you can keep towards the light?
Where is navigation? Is it down at the bottom?
Yeah.
And it's in alphabetical order, which is very convenient. Oh yeah, I'm really good at navigation.
You're okay.
Okay.
You seem more or
Not too
less on a
bad.
straight line path towards the fire.
Cool. All right.
Which in this group is a spring.
Happens. It's so boring. Nothing's happening.
I
Okay.
know. Other than my fall, my fall has been the most exciting thing so far,
Yeah.
which is kind of depressing.
So I mean, like your morale is still lessened because you're still feeling like the ache, but like your breath has returned. You're no longer completely winded.
That's good.
So yeah, Carve. It has now been almost 2 hours since the group has left you. What are you thinking of right now?
I'm asleep.
You're just asleep.
I'm dozing a little ways up the hill where I can keep an eye on where the cave entrance is, but I'm just kind of off to the side in a thicket.
Haha.
Oh no.
Finally.
Oh jeez.
Okay, so you're a light sleeper, right?
Yes, very light.
Okay. Give me a wits check. Oh, okay,
Dang.
yeah. So you dozed off. I don't know what you're dreaming about, but you're dreaming about something. You're not having a vision. And then suddenly you hear heavy footfalls, and you snap awake. And in the distance, like by torchlight, you can just make out inside the tree line just two giant shapes just stomping, and like the ground is actually almost like it's a little bit shaky as they get closer. What do you do?
Well, I know trolls when I see them. I think by explaining that the torch was in one spot, but I was away from the torch, I'm going to be as far back into the shadows as I can be, because I want to see what we're dealing with here.
So you're like leaving the torch outside the cave, but you're going inside the shadow of the tunnel?
I'm
Okay.
basically, if I wasn't necessarily in the torchlight when I took my nap, but I'm definitely not going back into torchlight right now.
Okay. Let me see how good the trolls are. Oh boy. So the trolls, as indeed they are trolls. You see them coming out, just big trolls. They're 3 times Carve's height. Huge bellies, really squat, stubby legs, and they're just sort of like waddling when they make their big boom, 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 boom. And like they're clearly investigating what's in the light, but as they get to the light, they just start, they pick up the scent of dwarf, and they start looking around, and they're starting to pay more attention to the cave tunnel. And so they start heading towards the tunnel. Carve, what do you do?
This will be good. Okay.
For the record, you split yourselves up.
I am going to move as stealthily as possible away from the tunnel entrance, because I don't want these trolls to go into the tunnel, and they're going to follow me because they're smelling whatever. So I'm going a different direction. Don't want to mess with trolls, but I also know I want to survive. So we're heading in a different direction.
Okay, so you're like sideways away from the tunnel.
Yeah, sideways along the side of the mountain.
Okay. So the trolls probably they wouldn't notice you slipping away first. You'll move before that, but okay, that's interesting. You survive this night yet, Carve. As they get closer to the cave, they catch like a whiff of something else, and like the one in front pauses and like punches the other one in the shoulder. You smell that? The other one sniffs. He's like, oh, it's them. And then the other troll says, indeed. And so, now they give the cave a wide berth, and they're like trying to slink back into the forests. And like the last thing that you hear them say is, I didn't know there were other trolls in these parts.
Oh.
I think our friends, the Hillmen, have some kind of anti-troll stink bomb they're using.
Or
That
there's
would be my
another
guess.
troll in the caves where they are.
There could be. There's other things going on in here. Alright.
So, ending, Sarissa, give me a vitality check.
I guess May's just still not having vitality.
Oh, sorry. Am I
mean-
doing right? Do you want me to do?
May, you're good. This is to see how fatigued they're getting from lack of sleep.
Oh,
But
she
that's
doesn't
not something
sleep, so
you have to
she's
worry
all
about,
special.
That's right.
Yes. All right. So, ending, you're doing good. Sarissa, you're starting to feel sleep clouding the back of your mind. You've just been walking for all this time. And so, like, not only are you having lack of sleep, but there's not a whole lot going. What are the three of you talking about, like, for this past hour?
I'm not doing a lot of talking, actually.
We're probably
Yeah,
just very quietly moving
Probably
over
not doing a
toward
lot of talking because
the
you
fire.
don't want to attract too much attention.
Sure, that makes sense. Let's see if anything happens this hour.
Sounds like Ending's character would be jabbering then.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So you're walking along, and Sarissa's starting to get tired. So for wits checks, Sarissa, you're going to be taking a -1 because you're getting tired.
Okay.
And what should happen for something a critical 1-1? Okay, you know what? I'm going to be slightly merciful. I'm just going to leave you with a cliffhanger.
Literally?
So you see the red light in the distance still, like another hour or two away at least. But let's see, May, give me a wits check.
I can do that.
Having the best vision and being the least tired.
Okay, hold on. Hold on here. There we go.
Okay. Okay. So Carv is saying that after the troll encounter, he slinked back into the cave entrance, but he can still monitor what's going on outside, just so the audience knows. Back to May. You notice footprints going in the direction opposite suddenly. Like this is one of those things where it's really boring. Just walking along, not doing anything. It's very homogeneous landscape. The cliffs are on either side of you, blocking a lot of visibility in those directions. But you happen to glance down and you notice that there are some tracks leading back in the other direction. And at the same time that you sort of register that someone had gone in the other direction, you hear this voice coming from in front of you, and it's speaking that same Hillman language, and it's just sort of shouting something, probably like a halt, who goes there command.
Oh, right.
And then you hear an answering response from behind you, and it's actually a woman's voice, and it's the same language. But then, so what do you three do?
try to sidestep out of the way between the two of them.
Okay. So if you want,
what did
if
we
you're
just
looking,
say?
you don't
Sorry,
know.
I was looking at a different screen.
May heard people in front of us and behind us having a conversation.
Well, no. May noticed the tracks, so she had time to sort of put together and start paying attention. But all three of you can hear the voices. There's like a challenging voice from ahead of you, and then there was some woman's voice in response from behind. And it's in the same language of the Hillman that you're familiar with.
I think we should get the heck off this.
Yeah, so if you go off to the side, there's like large rocks and some excuse me,
Yeah,
with
let's
some
go hide behind
tall
the rock.
grasses and mosses you can hide behind. So from your position, you see from like ahead of you, the direction that you were going. There's two people wearing the skins. They look like they could be from the Aranat tribe. You don't know. Like those are your only reference for Hillman right now. But then from behind you is actually that person from the ruins with the bow, just walking out with bow drawn, and as you watch, just like with one fluid motion, just shoots down the two people in front of you. Like clean shots right into their necks, they fall down dead. And then she says something as she stands over their bodies, she searches, and then she just like turns around, looks behind her, and sort of like, you can almost see like a light bulb in her eyes. And then she goes back in the direction that she came from.
Alrighty then.
We'll end it for the night.
Well, that happened. That's where we're going to end it, huh?
Wow. That was awesome.
We'll see what this means as time goes on.
Just so the audience gets an idea, if in case they're interested in like making games of their own and stuff like that, how much of that was on the spot, Gray?
Like 99% was on the spot.
That is amazing. That was a great story.
I had a feeling that was going to be the answer as soon as we asked him, like, if he had planned for us to go after the campfire, and he said no.
Like, tonight's episode, I was expecting was just going to be, like, you would sleep for the night, you would get to interact with people in the town, by no means was Master Gerald supposed to be your only source of information. He was supposed to talk with other people, and there were going to be other people to talk to.
Because it didn't occur to us at all to do that.
He's like, there's all this great story arc questing to be had in the town, and you guys are running across the countryside.
Not only that, but I was fully
yet.
expecting you to start leveling up skills and stuff and training with people and like building contacts and stuff. But instead, in the middle of the night, you want to forego sleep. You want to go sneaking across the cavern, going up the tunnel, which fortunately Carve saved you all.
We are action heroes. We are not talking heroes. We're action heroes.
But I mean, yeah. So now when we come back,
I wouldn't look at these people that they don't have any shinies. So obviously, I'm gonna go look for the campfire.
So when we come back next time, the party's gonna be split in 3 different locations.
Don't worry, Pine Leaf will have all the conversation covered. It'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Right.
So anyway, thank you everyone.
I'm just wondering what conversation Pineleaf is gonna have when, Phil comes to check on people and he's and she's the only one in the tent.
Yeah.
That is going to be an interesting conversation.
Yeah, things are really interesting. So I'm glad this happened.
So anyway, thank you everyone for joining us this week, and next week we will probably not find out any answers, and instead we'll just find out if we survive.
He'll have more questions.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
So anyway, thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for another episode of Tales of the Free Folk. But till then, thank you so much for watching.